So, remember back in September when Compass announced they wanted to acquire Anywhere Real Estate?
Oh, yeah, the mega merger. That was huge news.
Huge is an understatement. If this goes through in 2026, we're talking about a brokerage behemoth.
Right? We're looking at something like 340,000 real estate pros covering 120 countries. Basically, a real estate empire.
Exactly. But as with all empires, there's a catch. A new report just dropped that suggests this deal might actually hit a massive legal wall.
Let me guess, antitrust issues?
Bingo. A group called the Capital Forum did a deep dive, and they think this merger could create potentially illegal overlaps in at least 12 states.
Oof, illegal overlaps is not a phrase you want to hear during a merger.
It gets more specific. The report claims that post-merger, Compass would control 30% or more of the local brokerage market in major hubs.
Wait, is 30% the magic number?
It kind of is. Under the 2023 merger guidelines from the FTC and DOJ, anything above 30% market share is considered presumptively unlawful.
Wow, so they aren't just edging the line. They might be stepping right over it.
And look at where these overlaps are. We're talking Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Boston, parts of NYC, and DC.
So basically all the most expensive real estate markets in the country.
Yep. And it's not just the metros. The research says this dominance extends into high-end resort and luxury markets, too.
Which makes sense. Compass has always chased the luxury sector.
I do want to play devil's advocate for a second, though. Where are they getting these numbers?
Good question. They used real trends verified data, but the researchers did admit that data relies on voluntary submissions.
Right, so it might undercount the smaller mom-and-pop shops, making the big guys look even bigger.
True. But even with a margin of error, the consolidation trend is pretty undeniable.
Okay, so let's say they are too big. Why does that matter for the average person buying a house?
Well, an agent from Anywhere actually gave a pretty blunt quote about this. They said Compass is going to want a return on their money.
Which usually means one thing: higher prices.
Exactly. The fear is higher commissions for the public and higher fees for the brokers working for them.
It's not just about fees, though. Consumer watchdog groups are worried about the private listing strategy.
Oh, the pocket listing thing.
Yeah, if one company controls that much of the market, they can keep listings internal, effectively cutting off the free open market.
That's a huge concern. It basically forces you to work with them if you want to see the best inventory. And that is exactly why the heavy hitters in Washington are getting involved. Senators Elizabeth Warren and Ron Wyden just sent a letter to the DOJ.
They aren't known for letting corporations off the hook easily.
Definitely not. They explicitly said this deal could harm consumers by keeping fees artificially high during an affordability crisis.
Yeah, framing it around housing affordability makes it a really hot political issue right now.
So what does Compass have to say about all this heat?
Absolute silence. They declined to comment on the report.
Classic move. But honestly, with the DOJ scrutiny ramping up, they're probably saving their talking points for the lawyers.
Smart play. But it makes you wonder if this deal is actually going to survive the review process.
That's the big question. This is going to be a major test of how aggressively the DOJ polices real estate consolidation.
It really is. We'll have to wait and see if they treat this as a routine rubber stamp or if they actually drop the hammer.
We'll be watching closely. Thanks for tuning in.
Catch you next time.